All right, so good evening. Thanks for being here on time. Here's Rodrigo. I'm going to start today's class with you. Okay, today we have to work on one of the last topics that we have. And actually, we're going to do two things. We're going to work with that topic and we're going to start with the last one. So today and Friday, again, we're going to finish with everything as it's supposed to be. Okay, so one more time. Today, we're going to be working with these topics. We're going to finish this one, that is passive causative, all right? We start today and we finish today. And also, we're going to start with reported speech. This is only going to be the introduction and something about it. We're not going to finish this one. It's only going to be the introduction. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. Two topics. One of them is going to be finished, and the other one is only going to be like checked, the introductory part. So let's start then with this one. Okay, just a reminder, remember, please, everything is going to finish on Friday. You have until Friday to complete the assignments. The quizzes are, well, actually not the quizzes, the final exams, all right, can be taken tomorrow starting 6 a.m. and you have until Saturday noon to take them. Okay, so please don't forget that one because I need to send the scores to management Saturday afternoon. All right, so I'm not going to be able to extend the time. It's not going to be until Sunday. All right, I already mentioned that one on Monday. Okay, so please take that into account. Now, let's get into passive causative. Here, actually, we're going to take a look at something that Camila, you mentioned, right? In one of the links that I gave you at the beginning of the course for the first lesson, you are practicing with the first causative verbs, right? Have, get, make, even you have help, let, okay, those causative verbs. And you told me that in one of the examples, you used a different structure. Okay, and I told you right at the end of the course, we're going to cover that one. So this is this topic. Okay, here you're going to learn how to complement the first topic that we learned, passive causative. But let's try to ask you some questions. So I'm going to start with you this time, Camila. Now that I'm mentioning you, right, because you told me about that difference, what can you tell me about passive causative? What comes to your mind when you read this title?
Maybe that we use it when we talk about something that someone else did in the past and that person caused the action.
Okay, very good. I think that that's very interesting. Yes, someone else, it means that we are there, but someone else did something, did an action, and actually for us or for someone else, even somebody else. But yes, the idea is there, okay? A person doing something for another person. But the thing about the passive causative is that actually we don't need to mention the person who is doing that action, right? We only care about the action itself, not the person. So you're going to understand when we go there. My recommendation here, I'm going to try to explain one part in Spanish because this doesn't have a translation. So I'm going to give you more or less the idea. Let's start with these questions. The first one is for you, please, Rodrigo. What do you do when you require a service? For example, someone to paint your house. What do you do when you need that one, Rodrigo?
I look for a painter. Maybe.
Good. Yes, you look for a painter. And in an idea, if you remember the first lesson that we have in this course, Rodrigo, we learn about causative verbs, right? Causative verbs. For example, you make someone do something for you, right? You get someone to do something for you. You have someone do something for you. Okay, that's the previous lesson. That's the first lesson of this course, right? The very first lesson. So using that idea, Rodrigo, How can you tell me this action one more time?
Okay, so I have a painter for to paint my house.
But the rule says it's okay. The rule says that after a painter, you have to use only the base form of the verb. Don't use for, don't use to, and even, right, you know, for, to, it's going to be always incorrect. So I have a painter paint my house, right? Or I have a professional paint my house. That can be in future. I will have a professional paint my house. Or that can be a conditional. I would have a professional paint my house, right? So again, that's review because that's something we did. Remember, make, have, base verb, right? Person plus base verb. Get, that uses infinitive. I could get a painter to paint my house. And with get, you can use infinitive, right? But with the other ones, only base verb. But again, that's something we already did. That's review. So good. What do you do when you require a service? I may get a professional to do that for me. In this case, I may get a painter to paint my house, or I have a painter paint my house. Number two, it's for you, reader. Let's try to work number two. It's a complex question, but it says, how can you tell me that you made a professional do something for you without mentioning the person who did it? Okay, like in the example rather that Rodrigo was given, he said, I could have a painter paint my house. But in that case, Rodrigo is mentioning a painter. How can you give me, reader, the same idea without mentioning the person that is doing that for you? How would you do it? What do you say?
Mm, he did it for me, teacher.
All right, but even in that one, you are mentioning that person, right? He did it for me. You're saying he. So you're mentioning that person. It's okay. It's something we're going to learn today. And it's not intuitive. Ya no es tan intuitivo. Es una estructura muy especial del inglés que no existe en español. All right, but perhaps you heard it before. Perhaps you heard it. So what do you say? What other thing could you do, a reader? Because again, in he, you are mentioning he, and he is the painter. But how can you give me a sentence of that idea without mentioning the painter at all? Not even with he. Any ideas with that one?
No, teacher.
Okay, thank you, reader. It's okay. Again, as I told you, this is new. Perhaps some of you used that structure before. Most of you perhaps haven't. That's why you're going to learn this today. I'm going to try two more. And Mauricio, what do you say, Mauricio? This is the idea, right? I could have painter, yes, it's okay, paint my house. Okay, in this idea that you see here, Mauricio, right, we are mentioning the professional. We are mentioning a painter. The question is, how can you give me an idea, a sentence, in which I have the same information, but without the painter? What do you say, Mauricio?
I don't know, teacher. I have him painting my house. It's the same.
Okay, yes, in that case, we're still mentioning, right? We are using a pronoun, but we still mention that person, right? Again, thank you, Mauricio. So, as reader did, right, we get to use some pronouns. He did it, or I had him, right? I'm using this one so that you remember the lesson. You can say, I always get a painter, right, to paint my house. Okay, so that's the idea. What we want to do is try to omit this information, a painter. And that's actually passive causative. All right, in passive causative, remember, the focus is not on who is doing the action, in this case, the painter, not even us. It's on the action. So I'm going back to you, Camila. You check that one, but let's see if you have the answer. How would you do it, Camila? How would you give me the idea without mentioning the professional or the person who does it?
Maybe I can say I had my house painted.
Great. Very good. Thank you, Camila. Good. So actually, that's today's lesson. Okay, today's lesson is passive causative. And passive causative is I could have my house painted. So my recommendation, this is the answer. All right, this is the answer. This is passive causative. All right, passive causative. In this one, as you can see, you're not mentioning the person. You can do it, all right, optionally by a painter. Okay, but you don't have to. And again, this is not the main information. The main information, sorry, here is a mistake. The main information is this one. All right, so again, my recommendation before starting with this lesson, please, everybody, Rodrigo, Reader, Adriana, all right, Gilbert, everybody, don't try to look for the translation. Si van a intentar usar una traducción exacta, se van a confundir peor. No existe una traducción, ni existe esta estructura en español. ¿Ya? Solamente entienden la siguiente idea como esto. Son dos estructuras nada más. Y las dos estructuras es como decir en español, yo hice pintar mi casa. Ya es lo más parecido que puede haber. Eso es lo que vamos a aprender hoy. A decir eso con dos estructuras. Hice pintar mi casa. ¿Ya? Me hice teñir el cabello. You don't mention the person who does it, right? That's the closest translation. But again, you use words that don't mean that. You don't use hice in Spanish or English. You use different words, but you can translate that idea if you need to do it like that. All right? Someone did something for you, but you don't mention that person. You only mention the action. I could have my house painted. Or in past, I had my house painted. And again, you can translate that one as hice que pinten mi casa. All right? O me hice pintar la casa. That's the only possible way to approach to this idea. All right? And this is today's topic. So let's go even further. All right? With the next part. Let's read the definition with you, please. Adriana, definition of passive causative verbs, please.
We use a causative verb when we want to talk about something that someone else did for us or for another person. It means that the subject caused the action to happen but didn't do it themselves. Maybe they paid or asked or persuaded the other person to do it.
Okay, thank you, Adriana. Let's only repeat this word, please, Adriana. Persuaded.
Persuaded.
Okay, thank you very much. So, again, in the definition, the only thing I care about is this last idea. It means that the subject caused the action to happen, but didn't do it themselves, right? I'm talking about general idea of a person. You can understand that better with the following illustration. I know this is going to help even more. Yes, actually, let's read everything. This is going to be for you, please. Let me see who else is here. All right. Rodrigo, I'm going back to you, please, Rodrigo. Let's read the entire illustration, please.
If we say, I clean my house, this means I clean it myself. If I pay someone to clean it, of course, I can say, a cleaner cleaned my house. Another way is to use a causative construction. So I can also say, I had my house cleaned. In this sentence, the important thing is that the house is now clean. We don't focus on who did the cleaning.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much, Rodrigo. Great. So again, so if you understand these three ideas, then this is clear for you. Active voice. I cleaned my house, right? So I did it myself. I cleaned my entire house. You can say a cleaner cleaned my house. It means someone else did it, right? I didn't do it. But you can say that without saying a cleaner, right? Because it's obvious. If you say a cleaner cleaned my house, it's obvious that a cleaner cleaned your house. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes perhaps it was a different person. But when it's obvious, and when you don't want to mention who did it, you can use passive causative. I had my house cleaned. It means that you didn't clean your house. Someone else did it for you because you paid that person. Okay, because you convinced that person perhaps, okay? Paying or convincing, persuading, but you didn't do it. And here, as you can see also the other detail, you don't mention who did it because perhaps obviously it's going to be a cleaner. So I had my house cleaned. And this is answering the question one more time, right? Here you say the idea without mentioning who did it. All right, who did it? Before, because it's better if we work this way, I realized that one. Before watching the structure, you don't know what you need, right? You don't know if you need subject, verb, something. Only try to imitate. Okay, what? Try to imitate this one. All right, this over here. This is what you have to try to imitate. I had my house cleaned. So I'm going to give you something to do. So everybody, please try to go to the document. It's in the chat. I'm going to copy and paste it again. All right, just in case. Some of you, I know that you know how to do it. But if you don't, try to do it. Try to follow only these examples. Try to imitate the examples. This is what you have to do, please. Everybody, Rodrigo, Reader, Camila, Adriana, Mauricio, all right, Gilbert. Go to the file and you're going to write 2 sentences like this. Okay, like this sentence. All right, 2 sentences, please. Let me just write it for you. All right, you're going to write 2 sentences like this. A cleaner cleaned my house. A painter painted my house. Okay, a hairdresser, all right, fixed my hair. Something like that. A mechanic fixed my car. A dentist, right, I don't know, worked on my teeth. Something like that. You have to mention first the professional. Okay, in the first example, you have to mention the professional and then an action that that professional performed. And after that, okay, after those 2 sentences, one more time, let me write it for you. After those 2 sentences, you're going to try to change it to this structure. Use the passive causative. Only try to imitate this idea. Okay, for this one also, it's important that you use an object. Any object, for example, my house, my hair, my car, my computer. Okay, any object that is receiving the action. So that in the second part is going to be in the passive voice, like this one. Okay, so one more time. I'm not showing any structure yet. Try to follow only these examples and try to imitate the examples. Let me know, please, if you have any questions. This is only an attempt, okay? Only an attempt. Any questions about it? Let me know, please. Okay, so let's do it. Again, we're going to give ourselves only 2 minutes, all right? So in these 2 minutes, write 2 sentences like this, and then you're going to change these 2 sentences into this structure. All right, so in total, you have 4 sentences. All right, you have 4 sentences in total. So one more time, okay? 2 sentences using active voice. A cleaner cleaned my house. A painter painted my house. A mechanic fixed my car. And then change that voice to passive causative, like this. I had object and what follows. All right, let's do it, please, and we check. All right, so we're about to be in the second minute. We're going to check your ideas, all right? Everything that you did. Again, this is an attempt. This is a trial. This is not something you need to know how to do because I didn't show you the structure yet, okay? You're only playing with it and imitating what you see. So let me check what we got. This is you, Rodrigo. Let's read your ideas, please, Rodrigo.
The best mechanic repaired my motorbike. I had my motorbike repaired. A lawyer prepared the sales contract. I had the sales contract prepared.
Okay, good. The structure, I think it's very, very good, Rodrigo. So you have the ideas perfectly organized here. All right, only one of them I'm going to do this so that later on we understand why we have it this way, and it's perfect. We're only going to work with 2 pronunciation details, Rodrigo. Everything is good. This one, please. This E more like E, and this IE more like E, like repaired. Repaired. Let's repeat that one, please.
Repaired.
Good. And this one the same. This A more like A, like prepared. And this A also more like E. Prepared.
Prepared.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Good. So great. Okay. So in the second idea here, In other words, you are saying, I paid someone to repair my motorbike. Okay, you are saying that in other words. I had my motorbike repaired. Great. Mauricio, let's do the same with you. Over here, finish with that one. All right, I think you're finishing with one of them, Mauricio, and I go back to you. So Camila, let's work with you, please, Camila.
The first one is a chef cooked my dinner, and the result is I had my dinner cooked. And the second sentence is a makeup artist did my makeup. I had my makeup done.
Okay, okay, very good. Thank you, Camila. Great, great again. And you're following one of the rules, right? Because you know how to do it over here. I'm going to also check that one. Good. Over here, right, you're using done because we know, right, and you know, Camila, that you have to use a specific tense of that verb, right? So that's it. Thank you very much, Camila. It's working very good. Gilbert, let's try to do the same with you. Remember here, what you have to do here, Gilbert, is the same idea. La misma idea tienes que mostrarme en la forma del causative passive, passive causative, sorry, Gilbert. A mechanic checked my card. Si me estás diciendo eso, down below, aquí abajito, trata de decirme cuál sería la forma del causativo. Using this structure, right? I had, object, and the verb. The same, you're saying a doctor saw my grandmother. Also then try to use the passive causative, but of the same idea, de las mismas ideas, mechanic and doctor. Okay, try to use that one, please, Gilbert. And a reader, let's read your ideas, please, reader.
Okay. The technician installed the software. I had the software installed. The mechanic repaired my bike. I had my bike repaired.
Great. Very good. I think no observations over here. I'm just doing this so that in the next part we can identify certain parts that we need. But again, it's perfect, reader. I don't have any observations. Sorry. Let's just practice this word. It's a little bit special because it's not AU, but in this case, that's going to sound more like oh. So this one is going to be better like installed, a little bit more like oh. Let's repeat that one, please, reader. Installed.
Installed.
Okay, thank you. There you go. It's working good. Adriana, let's go with you now, please.
Hairdresser cut my hair. Mechanic fixed my car. I had my hair cut yesterday. I had my car fixed yesterday.
Okay, very good. Again, no observations over here. Only one thing related to pronunciation only. Adriana, this is very good. And it's going to be which one? That U, try to change it a little bit more like like cat. Let's repeat that one, please. Cat.
Cat.
Okay, thank you, Adriana. Joanna, let's continue with you, please.
A garden planted the flowers. A barber cut her hair. I have my garden with flowers. She has her hair cut.
Okay, thank you, Joanna. We have little details. These ideas are very good. A gardener planted the flowers. So we're going to do this later on, Joanna. But if you realize, what is the object here? What is the gardener planting? The flowers, right? What is the barber cutting? Her hair. Okay, so that's the object, right? So here you have to do the same. Again, this is something you're going to learn, Joanna. So planted is past. Cut also I imagine is past because barber is third person. it will be cats, right? So it's past, past, past. It means that here, Joanna, this, as in the example, if you realize, the example over here, the example is had in past. Okay, that's the reason. But again, you're going to learn better that in the next part. But as it's past, also you have in past. Okay, had and had. After had, if you realize here in number 7, Joanna, you're not talking about your garden. You're talking about the flowers. Okay, so you're going to repeat that one. You need to repeat. Para poder practicar y entender, necesitamos repetir los objetos. I had the flowers, and what is the action? The action is planted. Okay, so you need to repeat that one. So that would be it. All right, so had what? The flowers, and what is the action? Planted. All right, the same here. She had, and this is correct if I'm not wrong. She had what? Her hair, correct? What? Cat. Okay, and again, we're going to learn that in the next part, Joanna, to understand that in detail. But do you understand this thing that I did here, Joanna, related to the object? Let me know if you have questions, please.
Yes, teacher, I understand.
Okay, thank you. There you go. Now I'm going up because some of you were still working, I think. And over here, right? If you're having problems, then you can do it with me here. Gilbert, read what you have, please. Gilbert, this is you? Yes, and we're going to do the next part together.
A mechanic repaired my car. My car was repaired by a mechanic.
Okay, that's passive voice, right? Esa es voz pasiva. Pero más que voz pasiva, acá necesitamos causative verb, ¿ya? La voz pasiva, pero causativa. And what's that? ¿Y qué es eso? Que tú dices que produces esa acción que está en la voz pasiva. All right, so in the next one is good. This one, right? This one, let's obvious this. Vamos a obviar esto un poco para no confundirnos. So it's going to be, I had my car, and let's use the same verb, please. El mismo verbo, repaired. Okay, so it's exactly the same, but you're saying that you paid someone to repair your car. Now, I'm going to give you the other example, Gilbert. And it's going to be like this. Imagine that this is the other example. And I say, an engineer, okay, build my house. All right, that's my idea, Gilbert. What is the passive causative or of that idea, Gilbert? What do you say?
I don't know, teacher.
Okay, first you can copy and paste this one. Okay, copy and paste. Look, this is the other one that you did. Oh, I had. Now, what is the object here, Gilbert? What do you say? What is the object? An engineer or my house? Right, the object receives the action, ¿no? El objeto recibe la acción. What is receiving the action here? ¿Qué está recibiendo la acción aquí? ¿El ingeniero o la casa?
La casa. My house.
The house. The house, right? So here, after had, después de had, Gilbert, necesitas el objeto. So, my house. After my house, you need the main action. Necesitas la acción principal. What is the main action here? The verb. What is the verb here?
Build.
Build. So, you copy and paste that one. Okay, and that's it. In other words, Gilbert, this is like saying, an engineer built my house. Un ingeniero construyó mi casa. I had my house built. Me hice construir mi casa. Okay, again, the translation is that one, the closest. There's no specific translation in Spanish, Gilbert, but that's more or less the idea. After had, you need the object, and then you need the action. Do you have questions about that one?
No.
All right, good. And later on, we're going to learn even in a better way, Gilbert. Thank you very much. And I'm finishing with you. It was a Mauricio. Let's finish with your 2 ideas, please, Mauricio.
Okay, teacher. A plumber repaired the shower. I got the shower repaired. A dentist fixed my teeth. I had my teeth fixed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mauricio. I think the structures are perfect. You're using get, and even get, it's a passive causative verb, so it's very good. The only observation is related to a word, all right? It's perfect, everything is perfect. Just this one, remember, is 1 tooth, 2 teeth, right? 1 tooth, 2 teeth. It means that teeth, it's already plural, right? So you don't need to add s, okay? Just that one, okay? That's something extra. That's it. Everything else is working very good. Maurice, do you have any questions so far about this first part?
No, teacher.
All right, thank you. So again, in this case, you did it because you were imitating this, because perhaps you already know how to use it, all right? Or because I was guiding you a little bit. But now let's go to the explanation, all right? It was trying to do it only with your understanding. But now let's learn. Have. We're going to divide this. The formula and the first part, please, is going to be for you a reader. Let's read that one, please, reader. Have.
Had plus object plus past participle, have something done. We usually use have something done when we are talking about paying someone to do something for us. It's often used for service.
Thank you, reader. So after your subject, you need have. And you use have when you pay someone. Okay, when you pay someone. The logic is the following. Here you have examples. Directly the examples. So I'm going to read this when it says the form is subject plus have. All right, this can be in any tense. This can be present, have, present, has, past, had, present perfect, has, have, right? Or has, had, or had, past perfect, or could have with models, can have another model, okay? You can use it in any tense with any model, and it's going to be okay. Then the object, the past participle of the verb, okay? The third column, right? Been, given, taken, painted, because it's with ed, regular verbs, right? The past participle. The two examples are going to be for you, please. Joanna, let's read the two examples, please.
I had my car washed, and John will have his house painted.
Okay, thank you very much, Joanna. Correct. So this is the example. Look, subject, I, or the subject can be any subject. The person that is paying is going to be the subject. All right, la persona que está pagando es el sujeto. I had my car washed. In other words, I paid someone to wash the car for me in the past. Why? Because this is past, right? Had. John is paying. John will have in the future. So John in the future will pay someone to paint his house. All right, that's the idea. Now I'm going to give you more examples so that you give me some examples yourselves. And it's going to be like this. The same idea here. Okay, this is passive causative, right? This is passive causative. And it says, I had my house painted. Let's try to divide this in some parts. So you have hat, right? You have my house, and you have the verb in the past participle. Okay, it's always going to be like that. We are only going to change this to other tenses to see how you're going to do it. Okay, look. If you want this to be present, you can say, I have my house painted every year. All right, so this is a repeated action. This is simple present, right? This is simple present. Then you can have this in present continuous. I'm having, and remember here, have doesn't mean possession. Aquí have no significa posesión. Por eso se lo puedo usar tiempo continuo, ¿no? Si se acuerdan de esa lección, this is an action verb. I am having my house painted right now. This is present continuous, right? So it's possible. If you want to use past, this is already past. I had my house painted last week. Okay, then again, this is past. If you want present perfect, I have had my house painted before, right? Not clear. Before. This is present perfect. Then future. I will have my house painted by Sunday. Future. Okay, in this case, this is simple future. So as you can see, if you're following me, you can use have in any tense, but it's always going to be like this. Have, present, past, future, object, my house, my car, my hair, my computer, my cell phone, any object, plus the verb in the past participle, painted, repaired, fixed, given, taken, all right? Anything in the past participle, and any complement. All right, and as you can see, it can be in any tense that you want. So with that example, please, let me know if you have any questions first. Do you have any questions about this structure? No? All right. Again, practicing, right? Practicing is where you may get some doubts. So let's practice, please. Try to use, no, not this verb, okay? Try not to use this verb because I already used it, paint. Use different verbs, but try to do the following, please. Give me 3 sentences using have, all right? Using have, one in past, one in future, and one in present. Okay, in order better, one in past, one in present, and one in future. Okay, let's do it, please. Again, 3 sentences using have and the passive causative following this structure, please. Here is the formula. The first sentence in future, the second sentence in present, and the third sentence in future. Okay, first sentence or past, second sentence present, and third sentence future. Let's do it, please. Any questions, just let me know. All right, to do that, we're going to give ourselves 3 minutes and we'll start checking. Okay, so we have 15 more seconds. Again, we're going to check 3 sentences we have, right? One in past, the other one in present, and the other one in future, following the logic that I was showing, right? You only need to change have in the conjugation. Then any object plus the main action, the verb, in the past participle. So let's go take a look. Right, so I'm going to see how you're doing. And then we're going to have some ideas. Good, I think you're ready, Rodrigo. Let's read your 3 ideas, please.
They had their houses cleaned. I have my work done. He will have his armchair built.
Okay, good. I think you're following the instructions and it's very good. Now, just to practice and to make it better, remember, it's better if we have context. If we don't have a big context, at least we need time reference. All right, time reference so that we justify why we are using that tense. Just to practice in a complete way. In this one, in this case, they had their houses cleaned. It's very good. What time reference can you add at the end that shows me that this is past, Rodrigo?
Yesterday.
Okay. The same in the next one, Rodrigo. The next one is simple present. This is for routine, for repeated actions. What adverb or time expression can you add?
Every class.
Okay. In the next one, the same idea, it's future. Any future time expression?
The next month, for example.
Very good. And in this one, remember, you don't need that, only next month. Great. Very good. So, do you have any questions about using have as passive causative for this type of action? You can let me know, please.
No, teacher, you're right.
Okay, thank you. There you go. Mauricio, I think you're also done. Let's do the same, please, Mauricio. And also to practice, to do it now, please. At the end of your sentence, try to give me a time expression. Okay, so with that time expression, we can justify why we're using present, past, and future. But read it. In the meantime, as you read it, you add it, Mauricio. What do you say?
We had our clothes cleaned by Monday.
Okay. The next one, please.
She has his wedding plan.
Right? If you realize something happens in that specific sentence, Mauricio, it's not a thing incorrect, but grammatically speaking, remember that you use present simple when you want to talk about habits, routines, general descriptions, right? Is that if you tell me this sentence, it's like you're telling me that she always gets married, perhaps with the same man or with different men, and this is a routine for her. Okay, every time she has a wedding, she has that wedding planned, right, in a certain way by someone else. So with that logic, what would you do in sentence number 2 to adapt it to that logic?
Now she has his wedding planned.
All right, but also, right, if you keep using that tense, it's still going to be understood as routine. Also, when you say his, right, you're saying that she is making another person plan the wedding of another person that is a man, right? That is a man because you're saying his, right? So here are 3 people involved. She, that is paying someone else that is doing that planning for a guy, right? So there are 3 people over here. So again, my recommendation, try to use, it's present. I know I said present. My recommendation is don't use simple present, use present continuous. How would you do it with present continuous, Mauricio?
She's having her wedding planned.
Very good. All right, and we change that one to her. Good. In this case, it's better. And why? Again, because if you use a simple present, it's a routine. And this is not a routine. This is one event that happens, perhaps only once in life or very few times, right, in a life. So it's better to use continuous in this case because it's only happening for a specific time and for a short period of time. All right, I don't know if you have questions about that logic about present, Mauricio. Let me know, please.
No, teacher, it's clear.
Okay, and number 3, please. And also to number 3, try to add one-time expression or adverb.
I will have delivered the meal when you came home.
All right. Now, there's only one thing happening in number 3, Mauricio. If you tell me that I will have delivered, you're telling me this. Yo habré entregado la comida. So you are doing that. No one is doing that for you. This is active. Okay, you are doing that. If you want to use the passive causative here, Mauricio, you need to locate the object before the verb. Okay, and it's going to be like this, so that you see the difference between these two. This one is active. Okay, it means I am doing it, or I will do it. But if you do it like this, the meal delivered, it means this is passive. All right, in this case, someone else will do it for me. Okay, that's the logic. It means that if you want to use the passive causative, the object always, right, always has to be before the main verb. If not, it's going to be considered as perfect and as active voice. All right, that one, Mauricio. Do you have any questions about that last detail?
No, teacher.
All right, thank you very much. Camila, let's continue working with you, please.
She had her flight room delayed this morning. Alan has her shoes polished in the main square every Monday. And finally, they will have their dogs fed during the vacations.
Okay, thank you, Camila. Only one observation. I think, again, as always, they are very good. In number 1, if you tell me she had her flight to Rome delayed, you are telling me that she caused that she provoked that she actively made something happen so that the flight go delayed. That's going to be very weird, all right? It's going to be very unlikely that someone has that because delayed, it's something that is not actively done. Okay, when something is delayed, it's because something else happened and implicitly, right, you're receiving that action. So I would recommend to use like another idea. I don't know if you get me there, Camila, because if you say that again, you're telling me that she actively provoked that thing. Or I don't know what is the idea that you want to give me here.
No, actually, it's true, teacher. I didn't think about that.
All right, so what other example can you give me then, Camila, using past? And remember, you are provoking that action, right?
Maybe she had her flight to Rome lost. Maybe that she lost her flight.
Okay, but also remember, if you say that, you're telling me that she didn't do it in a certain way, perhaps if she wanted to do it, but you're telling me that someone else did it for her, right? Again, if you use this structure, had, object, and the past participle, even if you don't mention another person, there's another person involved, right? That lost her flight in a certain way. And in this case, also, it's not going to work because someone else is there. But it's going to be hard to understand if you tell me, right? She had her flight to Rome lost. By whom? Because remember that after this, you can add this one. It's like you're telling me again, if we remember that if you use had, you are talking about payment. It's like you're telling me that she paid someone to delay the flight, or she paid someone to lost the flight.
Maybe booked.
Okay, exactly. In this case, booked would be okay, because you're telling me that she didn't have time to do it, so she paid a person to book the flight for her. Right? That's more or less the idea. I don't know if you have any questions about these suggestions in number 1, Camila. Let me know, please.
No, teacher, it's okay. I understand everything.
All right, thank you. There you go. So again, this is also for everybody. Remember that there's always a third person involved. No, recuerden que siempre hay una tercera persona involucrada que no se menciona. All right, and you're telling me that you paid that person, que pagaron a esa persona, a ese profesional, a ese grupo, a esa compañía, a esa empresa, to do something for you, para que hagan algo para ustedes. But you don't mention that, right? So you say by someone or by a group or even enterprise. But again, you don't mention that, but imagine that it's always there. There's always a third person over there. All right, so good. Her shoes polished, good, and their dog's fed, right? It means someone else did it for her. Great. Gilbert, let's read yours, please, Gilbert.
I have my room fixed. I have my bike washed. He will have his house cleaned.
Thank you, Gilbert. In this case, yes, it's not wrong to use fixed, right? But remember, fixed is like reparar. When you say room, in a certain way, yes, but perhaps you can be a little bit more specific, right? Podría ser un poco más específico. ¿Qué exactamente se repara? Right? Porque el cuarto sería otro tipo de reparo. One more time, please, Gilbert.
Acomodar, cleaner.
Okay, clear, clean can be also over here. It's not wrong, that one, but let's check then. Let's work on something different. We're going to add a different. In the next part, what time expression here, Gilbert, can you use for past at the end of the sentence? What do you say? Because it's correct so far. All right, it's good, está bien, but we need a time expression to make it there. What time expression could it be?
Cleaners.
Remember, a time expression, for example, is yesterday, right? Okay. Yesterday is a time expression. What time expression can you give me here for past?
That's Saturday.
Okay, good. Sorry, there you go. What about the number 10? It's also good. I have my bike washed. All right. What time expression can you give me for present simple? Remember, habits, routines.
Right now.
If you say now, that's not for simple present, that's for present continuous. What would it be? Something that is like a routine, como una rutina.
Every Monday.
All right, there you go. Every Monday. And the last one, the same, please, Gilbert, for future.
I will have my house cleaner.
any future expressions. Yeah, tell me, users. Remember that in future, something simple is next, el siguiente. El siguiente.
Next week. Next week.
There you go. All right. So, any questions about this part, Gilbert? Let me know, please.
No.
Okay, thank you very much. In the next part, reader. Let's read your ideas, please, reader. And also, just to practice, at the end of your ideas, try to give me, when you're speaking, a time expression, please, for past, for present, and for future.
Victor, I had my old car restored. Simple past.
Good. And what time expression can you use for simple past at the end of your idea?
Sorry, teacher, I don't understand.
Okay, a time expression, for example, is yesterday, a reader, right? Just to have a complete sentence. What time expression can you add at the end of this one?
Okay, last weekend.
Okay, good. There you go. Again, this is not necessary. It's just for practice. All right. In number 2, the same. It's present. Read it entirely and give me a time expression for simple present at the end, please.
Okay, teacher. I have my grass cut right now.
All right. Now this one again, more recommendation. If you say right now, it's better if you use the present continuous, right? I'm having my grass cut right now. But as this is a routine reader, because you're using simple present, what expressions, time expressions can you use for routines, for repeated actions every time?
Always.
Okay, good. Always. And in this case, we can locate always here, right? It's better to locate, if it's an adverb, it's better to locate the adverb before the verb in the simple present, right? Good. I always have my grass cut. And the last one, please, the same reader, read the entire idea and add a future time expression at the end, please.
I will have the machine plans drawn for the next week.
Okay. Or by next week. There you go. Thank you, reader. Any questions about how to use have in passive causative ideas?
No, teacher.
All right, thank you. And I'm going down to you, Joanna. Let's read your ideas, please, Joanna.
He has a snake a pet boat last year. She is having good notes, become good professional. They will have a party started early.
Thank you, Joanna. Let's analyze now all of them, right? Had, good. El primero tiene que ser solamente pasado, ¿no? Entonces, had. A menos que quieras decirme pasado perfecto, que sería had, pero significa había tenido. What do you want to say here, Joanna? ¿Sería solamente pasado, had, presente perfecto, have had, or past perfect, pasado perfecto, had? Which one do you want to use?
Yes, teacher. The sentence is past perfect.
Okay, so he had a snake. Now you're using 2 nouns. Tendrías que usar solamente uno de los objetos, Joanna. A snake or a pet, ¿no? Snake se entiende que es una mascota en este caso, pero trata de mencionar solamente uno de los dos. ¿Cuál mencionarías? Only one object, solamente un objeto.
Snake.
Okay. Good. He had a snake both last year. Okay. It works. ¿Ya? Funciona. Ahora, la pregunta aquí sería la siguiente, para que sea la lógica. Aquí tengo que corregir solamente al pasado simple. Pero, ¿Por qué? Porque necesitas una acción segunda que sea sucesora a esta. ¿Te acuerdas? El pasado perfecto se usa mejor en contextos en los que la primera acción es el pasado perfecto, had, y la segunda acción es el pasado simple. Vamos a tratar de acomodar. But the most important thing, lo más importante aquí, Joanna, tú me estarías diciendo, ¿no? Que él se había hecho comprar una serpiente por alguien más. Right? That's the idea. Is that correct, Joanna?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So, again, now to use the past perfect correctly, para usar el pasado perfecto correctamente, recuerda, Joanna, siempre se usa en un contexto donde hay otra cosa que pasa después. So you can say, by 19, or not that long. All right, now, why? ¿Por qué? Porque by significa antes, ¿no? Significa que primero se ha hecho comprar la serpiente y segundo hemos llegado al año 2010. All right, anytime you want to use the past perfect, Joanna, try to mention the action and the next action, ¿ya? La acción en el pasado perfecto y la segunda acción en simple past o una fecha pasada. All right, that's the first one, good. In number 8, she's having, remember that the closest translation to this one, Joanna, is, ella se está haciendo hacer las buenas notas por alguien más sería. All right, aquí me estarías diciendo que alguien se lo está haciendo las buenas notas. Recuerda que aunque no menciones a otra persona, tú estás hablando de que esta persona está pagando a alguien para que se lo haga algo. Right? That's why you need to check. Trata de pensar de esa manera. Good notes es la acción que esta otra persona que no mencionas está haciendo por ella. ¿Ya? Está haciendo por ella. Entonces tal vez tendríamos que cambiar algunas cosas aquí. What could it be, Joanna? ¿Qué podría ser? What's in your mind? Remember that you have to say something like, tienes que decir algo como, ella se está haciendo, ¿no? Pintar la casa. Ella se está haciendo comprar esto. Right? Or like in your partner's examples, con de tus compañeros. We go to some of them, si vamos a algunos. We'll have teeth, all right? Teeth wash or teeth fixed, ¿no? Los dientes arreglados. ¿Por quién? Por un dentista, aunque no se mencione. So how would it be here, Joanna? What do you say? In this part, number 8.
She's having good notes. Don't good. Don't.
But again, if you tell me that one, no, si me dices eso nuevamente, try to translate. Again, I hope this here serves to everybody. If you say this, and we're going to, if we have more questions, ¿no? Después de esto, si tenemos más preguntas, mañana las vamos a resolver en la conversación personal. Pero acá, esta primera acción, Joana, es como si tú me dijeras lo siguiente. Someone had bought a snake for him. ¿Ya? En otras palabras, en número 7, tú me estás diciendo esto. Someone had bought a snake for him. Alguien había comprado una serpiente para él. Y en otras palabras, tú dices, he had had a snake bought by. ¿Ok? Él se había hecho comprar una serpiente. Por alguien más. Aunque no mencionemos, siempre hay alguien más, Joana. In this one, en esta, si tú me dices, por ejemplo, esto, right? She's having good, instead of notes, notes son más notas, ya que tú tomas apuntes. Good grades, perhaps. ¿Ya? Buenas calificaciones, notas. La acción aquí, ya, you're telling me, become, convertirse, pero no vendría mucho al caso. Recuerda que este es el objeto que recibe la acción. So, you can say, someone is, right, I don't know, doing something for her. En otras palabras, tú me estás diciendo esto, Joana. Alguien está haciendo algo por ella. ¿ya? Porque ella está pagando. So, ella se está haciendo buenas calificaciones. You're telling me done, right? Hechas. ¿Por quién? Es como si me estoy diciendo nuevamente, por eso no va a encajar bien, que alguien se lo está haciendo las notas a ella porque ella le está pagando a esa persona. But I don't know if that's the idea, Joanna. No sé si esa sería la idea. What do you say? One more time to finish.
Mm, okay. Could I say copy the homework in the last part?
All right, you can say the homework, copied, yes. So here, someone is copying, ya, es lo que me gustaría decir en otras palabras. And it's good, aquí sí se aplica, creo que está bien, Joanna. Someone is copying the homework for her, ya. Alguien está copiando la tarea por ella. Ya, nuevamente. When you use have, normalmente es cuando se paga, ya. No siempre, pero sí, casi siempre es un contexto profesional. So she's having, ¿cuál es el objeto? Her homework, or the homework, let's say, in general. Copied, right? The past participle, copied. Así que ahí, en otras palabras, está diciendo, ella se está haciendo copiar la tarea. All right, so again, even if you don't mention another person, Joanna, aunque no mencionas a otra persona, siempre está implícita en esa estructura. All right, she is having the homework copied. Ella se está haciendo copiar la tarea. All right, and in this one, they will have a party started. I think it's okay. But, pero lo que hay que entender nuevamente, Joanna, si me dices en esta estructura, quiere decir que ellos están pagando a alguien más para que inicien la fiesta por ellos. All right, it's like saying they will have a party started early. Ellos se harán empezar la fiesta temprano by someone else, por alguien más. But you don't need to mention that someone else, ¿no? Pero no se necesita mencionar. Up to that part, Joanna, do you have any questions about that one? Let me know, please.
No,
All right. I know that perhaps we have doubts, but again, just to finish with everybody then, Joanna, tomorrow, all right, any possible doubt is going to be for those 15 minutes, and we check the questions that you may have related to have, and also with anybody that still has some doubts. All right, so thank you. Now, I'm missing you, I think, Adriana. Let's read your ideas, please, Adriana.
I have my teeth washed every day. I had my teeth washed yesterday. I will have my teeth washed in 10 minutes.
Okay, in this one, just as with Mauricio, recuerda, Adriana, que teeth es un sustantivo irregular y que el plural ya es teeth, significa diente, ¿no? Teeth es incorrecto. All right?
Yes, tooth.
All right, correct. My teeth. Now, in this one, I'm just going to tell you the logic, Adriana, if it's correct. Aquí tú me estás diciendo nuevamente, no que tú te lavas los dientes, sino que alguien lava tus dientes por ti. Perhaps in the dentist, right? Porque quizá un tratamiento especial en el dentista, se entendería, pero en otro contexto sería un poco raro. No, por eso te digo esa cuestión. I have my teeth washed every day significa que alguien lava tus dientes cada día. I had my teeth washed yesterday. Alguien lavó tus dientes ayer. I will have my teeth washed in 10 minutes. Alguien lavará tus dientes en 10 minutos. All right, that's the idea. Let me know, please, if you have any questions about it and if that logic is clear, Adriana.
Clear, teacher.
Okay, thank you. And again, I missed because I was looking for someone. I think it's good. If some of you were not, all right, revised, please let me know. I think I checked all of your ideas. This was you, Mauricio, yes. Okay, I think it's done. Then we're going to finish. We have these minutes. This is a short. it's a short topic, but as you can see, it can be confusing. Porque como les dije, no existe una traducción al español, pero tienen que entender de esa manera. Me hice hacer esto. Me hice pintar la casa. Me estoy haciendo pintar la casa. Me haré pintar la casa. ¿Ya? Y digan lo que digan en esa estructura, se supone que hay alguien más haciendo eso por ustedes. Y traten de usar acciones que sí las puede hacer alguien por ustedes, ¿no? Si usen un verbo que no puede ser provocado, ¿no? O que va a sonar raro, como perder algo o retrasarse algo, va a ser muy difícil de entenderlo de esa manera. O si es que usan el objeto después, ya significa otra cosa. Okay? Always this structure, siempre esta estructura. Subject, have, had, have had, will have. Objects, okay, only and also one object plus past participle. Always the past participle. Now the last thing, okay, as you can see, this is the last part, only two, but it's hard to get it sometimes. Get. Already, right? This is something that you used, Mauricio, yeah, right? You already did it. Get. Get means the same. Si escribo una oración con get o con have, se traduce exactamente lo mismo en esa traducción cercana. The only difference is that it's not professional and not formal. That's it, okay? Not that professional and not that formal. We're going to read this together, please. The explanation is going to be for you, please, Camila.
We can also use subject plus get plus object plus past participle. This has the same meaning as have, but is less formal. Also, it means that someone causes something to happen, not in a professional way necessarily.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, it's exactly the same, okay? The difference is very subtle, it's less formal, and it's something that doesn't necessarily happen in a professional context or in a professional way. The two examples that we have are the following. This is for you, please, Mauricio. Number 1 and number 2.
The students always get their essays checked. He got his washing machine fixed.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. Good, good. This one, I know it's sometimes one common thing in pronunciation, but in this case, because of the double S, it's going to be more like essay, even more like E. All right, let's repeat that one, please, Mauricio. Essays.
Essays.
Okay, thank you. There you go. So again, to help you out, because I know this is a different and a difficult structure, it's the same as before. The students always get their essays checked. Los estudiantes siempre se hacen revisar sus ensayos. And of course, there's a third person. Siempre hay una tercera persona. He got, this is past, he got his washing machine fixed. Él se hizo, en el pasado, arreglar su máquina de lavar. Again, what's the difference? Use have when you are paying, when it's professional and formal, right? And use get when you are not necessarily paying, okay? Not necessarily, perhaps you are, but not necessarily, and when it's not that formal, okay? Get is less formal than have in this situation. Both mean hacerse hacer algo, right? Both have that meaning. And again, it's the closest translation because you know that have and get, they don't mean that, but it's the closest translation to Spanish. All right, so please, let's finish with this one. Only two, all right? Let's go to the document, please. I know today it's only been writing this. Two examples. One, it can be in, let's do it this way, please. One example in present perfect. Okay, remember present perfect, have, has, plus the verb in the past participle. One in present perfect, and the other one in future will with be going to. Okay, let's do it that way, please. Two examples with get, one example in the present perfect, and the other example in the future with be going to. Let's do it, please, and we are going to check. All right, and with that, we finish today. Okay, for this one, we're going to give ourselves 2 minutes. In the 2 minutes, we start checking. And again, any questions, just let me know, please. All right, so we're going to start taking a look at that. We're on the 2nd minute. And again, just to remember, we have 2 ideas with get, right? Hacerse, hacer. Present perfect, right? Have, has, plus the main verb in the past participle. In this case, get has to be in the past participle as well. And future with be going to, right? She's going to, and the next part. So with that explained, let's take a look to finish today. All right. Okay, I think let's start with you, please, Camila. I think you have your ideas with get. Let's read it. I'm sorry, this is going to be you, Mauricio. Mauricio, let's start with you, please.
Okay, teacher. I have gotten the cleaning done. And you are going to get your pet's feet.
Okay, okay, good. Only the last word, right? Feet is going to be the base verb. As this is past, it's going to be fed, right? Fed. Good, very good. I think I have no observations. You're going to get, future will be going to. I have gotten, past participle. It means present perfect. I have no observations, Mauricio. Do you have any questions about the usage of get for passive causative?
No, teacher.
All right, thank you very much. Camila, let's follow up with you, please.
Bruno has got his computer bugged in the US, and we are going to get our vacations paid.
Okay, thank you very much. Now in this one, right, we know that we have 2 options for get, right? It can be get, got, or get, got, gotten. Now my advice is the following. Again, it's not incorrect, but if you want to be formal, it's better to use gotten. And also, it's better if you only use the structure has got or have got when it doesn't mean present perfect, when it means possession, right? I have a bicycle. I have got a bicycle. The meaning is the same, right? So when it's not used in that way, my advice is to use the gotten structure, right? This is again something extra. It's more formal and better when it doesn't mean possession. In that one, I think that's only suggestion. Then computer bot, good. You're going to get vacations paid, right, by someone else. That's it, Camila. Any questions about this structure or comments? Let me know, please.
No, teacher, everything is clear.
Okay, thank you very much. Continuing, let me see, I didn't see the name. Okay, Gilbert, this is you. No, you're still working on that. Okay, I'm going to continue checking. Reader, you're working on that as well. Okay, I think you have yours, but you have this in different tenses, I think, Adriana. So I'm going to check yours. We still have time, Adriana, but try to change, please. This one, the first one, try to change it to present perfect. Okay, try to change it to present perfect. And this one, try to change it to future with be going to. All right, just that one. I think they are good, but just to follow that logic. Number 13 in present perfect, and number 14 in future with be going to. Please. All right, and we check. Then you're still working. Okay, so if you have any problems or doubts, please let me know. I'm going to still see how you're doing. I think it's done for you, a reader. I think you have your examples. Yes, let's read those examples, please.
I have gotten my portrait drawn. I'm going to get my apartment fixed out.
Okay, fixed up, right? Great, I think. Have gotten, present perfect, going to get, right? I'm going to get, that's future will be going to. And that's it. I think that I don't have observations. Reader, do you have any questions about this lesson? Let me know, please.
No, teacher, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. I'm scrolling up. You're not working. It's already checked. It's already checked. Okay, here you have yours. Rodrigo, let's read your ideas, please, Rodrigo.
He has gotten his notebook wrote. I am going to get my car bought tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Rodrigo. Only one detail in number 10, right? Wrote is the simple past, but you need the past participle, right? It means that someone else has written that for him. So, written, all right? And then you can add another type of information. So, he has gotten his notebook written by someone else, right? A person that we don't know who it is, but it doesn't matter. That's the only one, I think, Rodrigo. Then I'm going to get my car bought tomorrow, right? And again, it means that someone else is going to buy the car for you, right? You're not going to buy it yourself. Someone else is going to do it for you. With that logic, Rodrigo, do you have any questions about that correction or about this lesson?
No, teacher.
Okay, thank you. And again, I always ask for specific questions about now, right? What we're seeing now. I know that perhaps any of you may have other questions. Just let me know in the conversations or in next classes. We're about to finish. We have 10 minutes. That's very good. And so some of you are missing here. Okay, let's work with you, Adriana. You have 2 sentences, right? But we needed those sentences to be in present perfect and in future will be going to. So let's try to do it together. Read the sentences that you have, please, Adriana. All your sentences with the get.
I will get our boss given us a free day. The pets always get his curry. I have get our boss to give us a free day.
Okay, now in this case, something happens, Adriana. Estás usando los passive causative, ya los causative verbs, pero lo estás usando de una manera activa. Porque aquí me estás diciendo tú y yo haré que mi jefe nos dé, ¿no? Y en ese caso no usamos esa estructura, usamos esto. I will get our boss to give us, Y esa es la primera lección que tuvimos en el curso. All right, in the first week, en la primera semana. Pero para esa estructura, Adriana, tú necesitas decirme de forma pasiva un objeto que recibe la acción que alguien más hace. Porque si aquí tú me dices esto, given, es como si dijeses, yo estoy haciendo a mi jefe que alguien le dé algo, ¿no? Un día libre tal vez. Entonces se entiende de esa manera. No se entiende que tú estás haciendo que tu jefe les dé un día libre, sino estás diciéndome que alguien ya le va a dar algo a tu jefe. Quizás ese día libre, pero nuevamente por la estructura no estaría muy claro. So, mi recomendación, más que personas acá, casi siempre se suelen usar objetos que reciben una acción de una persona que no se menciona. All right, for example, here you can say, I will get a free day given, and in parentheses, me haré dar un día libre. All right, I will get a free day given by our boss. ¿No? En esa manera, tú me estás diciendo que el día libre es algo que está dando una persona que no necesariamente mencionas. Ok, la otra estructura sería con el otro que vimos en la primera semana. The pets always get their heads, okay, caressed, or even for pets, para las mascotas, es mejor también si se dice pet. All right, to pet. But in this case, aquí sí, ¿no? Porque alguien más está acariciando eso. The pets always get their heads caressed or pet, all right, by someone else. But until that part, let me know if you have any questions so far, Adriana. To change that to the present perfect. Ok, siempre en medio del verbo tienes que mencionar el objeto que recibe la acción, ¿ya? No a la persona que quieres convencer, no a la persona que estás haciendo hacer algo, no, sino lo que estás recibiendo, la acción, el objeto que recibe la acción. En este caso, el día libre es lo que estás recibiendo, ¿no? Por alguien más. Las cabezas aquí de los perritos son los que reciben las caricias, all right? Y por otras personas.
En sí
Yes.
es que alguien hace algo por nosotros,
Yes,
no
correct.
nosotros por algo, por alguien
Ajá.
más.
Exacto. No es que tú haces que alguien haga algo por ti activamente, sino
Ajá.
bueno, que sí que alguien hace por ti algo y eso es lo más específico aquí.
Ah, ya.
All right. So if you change, just to finish this one, Adriana, this is future, right? To change it to past, I'm going to delete this one, ¿no? Porque es el mismo. To change this to present perfect, you need to do the following. Lo único que necesitas es have o has, en este caso have, and the past participle of get, porque siempre es el pasado participio en presente perfecto. Gotten. I have gotten a free day given by our boss, let's say. ¿No? Yo me he hecho dar un día libre por alguien. En este caso suponemos que es tu jefe. The pets, this future will be going to. ¿No? Pues digamos que es futuro con be going to. Are going, all right, are going to get their heads caressed or pet by someone else, ¿no? Alguien más les va a acariciar la cabeza. But that's it. Any questions about that part, Adriana? Let me know, please.
No, teacher.
Okay, thank you very much. And Joanna, let's work with you, please, Joanna.
I have gotten my dinner bought. She will get her dress for the party fixed.
Okay, good. I think it's working very good. In this one, have gotten, very good, bought, right? It means someone else bought that for you, correct. In this one, only change will. How do you change to finish this, Joanna? Will to be going to. ¿Cómo me cambias de ese pasado simple, perdón, de ese futuro simple al futuro con be going to? How do you make that change in number 11?
She is going to get her
Very
dress
good.
for the party fixed.
Good. Very good. This is clarification, right? Fixed. Fixed like reparado, or you can say tailored. All right, tailored es una especie de modificaciones que se hacen en una sastrería o algo así. But this is optional. Instead of fixed, lo serías en lugar de fixed. All right, but that's it. I think it's working good, Joanna. Here you have the object and the verb in the past participle. Do you have any questions about get and about this lesson, Joanna? Let me know, please.
No.
All right, thank you. There you go. So I think it's done. Sometimes when I explain, right, I lose my head and I'm not sure if I checked all of your examples. I think here it's missing you, right, Gilbert? I'm going to check yours, but I think after Gilbert, I got to check every example. Yes. So to finish, please, Gilbert, let's finish out with you. Let's read that example that you have, Gilbert, please.
She has gotten the file free.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Remember, just to finish with this one, Gilbert, ella se ha hecho, ¿qué cosa? ¿Qué se ha hecho reparar, Gilbert?
I gotten the file. Your car.
Okay, then her car repaired. Okay, this is the structure that we need. Simply, she, subject, has gotten, el tiempo, her car, this is the object, no el objeto, and repaired, la acción que recibe o que recibió ese objeto. All right, and that would be it. We're going to do one in future. He is going to get, él se hará, ¿qué? ¿Qué acción puedes decirme aquí? Él se hará hacer qué. ¿Y qué cosa recibe esa acción? What can you tell me, number 13, Gilbert?
Cleaner.
Okay, he's going to get dinner. ¿Qué acción? ¿Qué va a pasar con esa cena? ¿Quién está haciendo, o la persona que no mencionamos, hace qué con esa cena? ¿La cocinó? ¿La preparó?
Yes.
All right. How do you say cook? Oh, sorry. What is the past of cook, Gilbert? This one, right? What is the past? The past participle of cook. All right, this is regular. Tell me, Gilbert. Cooked, right? Cooked. So that's it. This means, all right, this means the following. Significa lo siguiente. Él se va a hacer, cocinar, la cena. All right, so always like this, please, Gilbert. Sujeto, verbo, the object, el objeto, and the action that happens to that object. La acción que le pasa a ese objeto. That one, do you have questions about that, Gilbert? Let me know, please. No? All right. Any questions, just let me know, please, Gilbert. Again, then that's going to be it. All right. I know, but I told you, and I'm going to tell you many times, I prefer to spend more time explaining than knowing that you're not going to get some ideas. I know that even the class is not enough for some of you to understand everything, because perhaps it's the first time that you're learning this. So you're going to need more practice. And again, this is just the first time you're practicing. You can do it with me tomorrow in the conversation, but I cannot guess, right? Like they say, right? No soy adivino. So please, you have to tell me tomorrow, teacher, I don't understand this. And, or Luis, right? You don't call me teacher. Luis, I don't get it. And we spend the 15 minutes, okay, learning this. Again, it's impossible to do it. I try to follow, right? What's the schedule? What's the lesson plan for teaching you what I have to teach you in one day? but it's impossible to do it, as you can see. We have many things, many doubts, and to teach you little by little, it's difficult. All right, so again, this is the end of the lesson. Here you have some extra practice. I know that some of you still have some doubts, but please try to check the lesson one more time. And if you still have doubts, let me know tomorrow in the conversation. I'm going to ask you, do you have any questions about yesterday's lesson? Okay, tell me yes. And you can tell me in Spanish, right? No entendí esto y esto. And I'm going to help you out. All right, but again, that's so that we can work. It's impossible to work everything today. So we have to divide that in many days. All right, so please, again, let's finish here. As always, I'm going to share the survey with you. Let's answer those questions, and I'll see you tomorrow in the conversation, guys. Have a good night, and thanks for being here.
Bye-bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye. See you.
teacher.
Bye.
Bye-bye.